In the biggest threat to Ukraine from the Russian dictatorship so far, Lavrov, Satan's representative on earth and Putin's sock puppet, said that if the Ukraine parliament adopts the draft law called on the principles of state policy in transition, Russia will view it as a proclamation of withdrawal from the Minsk Treaty. Russia says openly, pass this law and we will invade you, end of story. According to the law, which was written by the Cabinet of Ministers of Ukraine, it implements a set of measures to counter the armed aggression of Russia against Ukraine, restore the territorial integrity of Ukraine within the international recognized state border and restore operations of the central government over occupied territories. In short, this law says, we don't accept Russian occupation and their illegal annexation of Crimea and eastern Ukraine. This is why Russia is pissed off and are threatening war. Putin can't accept that someone is standing up against him. Ukraine is saying, we ain't gonna take this anymore and we'll take back our territory no matter what. The law was introduced on August 9. It seems to me everything Russia and Belarus have been doing lately is all based on the passage of this law. I don't know when the law will be voted on yet, but as soon as I know, I will post a video about it. A train loaded with self-propelled heavy mortar to S4 Tyalpan, which is the largest mortar system in the world with its 240mm caliber, has been spotted on November 12 in Krasnodar Krai, which is east of Crimea. Looks like Putin is planning on sending these huge mortars somewhere where he can use them. These would be crucial in an offensive. According to the Ukrainian government, Saturday morning on the front, Russian puppets have fired anti-tank grenade launchers, large-caliber machine guns and small arms at Ukrainian soldiers around Troitsk in the Luhansk region. They've also dropped grenades from a drone and fired 82mm mortars. Thankfully there have been no Ukrainian casualties so far today. Putin said on Saturday that US and NATO activities in the Black Sea are a serious challenge for Russia, basically saying the two US warships in the Black Sea are a threat and that the West are escalating tensions. What a load of crap. Let's look at a map of the Black Sea, shall we? Oh right, Russia's coastline totals 800 kilometers. Meanwhile, Ukraine's coastline to the Black Sea is 2,782 kilometers, Turkey is 1,329 kilometers, Bulgaria has 354, Georgia 310, and Romania has 225. Russia claims the whole of the Black Sea when in fact they own about 15% of it. Putin can get bent hard. On October 8, Poland said that Belarus troops on the border shot at Polish troops, but the shots were likely blanks. Thing is, when soldiers in uniforms are firing at you with guns, you can't know if those are blanks or real bullets. You cannot ask yourself what if they're just playing around. If Belarus pulls this crap again with the tensions being sky high, there's a big chance Polish soldiers could fire real bullets in self-defense and then the brown stuff will hit the fan. In the last several days there has been a lot of saber rattling from the United States and Russia. Russia has flown nuclear-capable Tupolev 160 bombers over the North Sea and over Belarus. They've also flown nuclear-capable Tupolev 95 and Tupolev 22 bombers over Belarus. In a tit-for-tat, the United States has flown nuclear-capable B-52s bombers over the North Sea and non-nuclear-capable B-1s over Norway. The Ukrainian Navy announced Saturday that it conducted a passage exercise with military vessels from the United States, Turkey and Romania in the Black Sea. Putin is mad, but guess what, you scumbag? All this wouldn't be happening if you didn't annex Crimea in the first place, so go drink some vodka. British ministers are expected to travel to Ukraine next week to bolster its defense pact with Ukraine. British weapons manufacturers will also unveil an arms deal with Ukraine that will supply them with critical weapons to defend the country against future Russian invasions. What types of weapons included in the deal are not known yet, but we should expect more details when the deal is signed. In an interview published on Saturday with a Russian defense magazine, Belarus's dictator Alexander Lukashenko said he wanted Russian nuclear-capable Iskander missiles to be deployed in the south and western regions of his country. He said he wanted several divisions of the missiles, which aren't a thing. Rocket brigades, sure. Divisions of missiles aren't a thing. A rocket brigade is 12 launchers. Russia itself has 12 brigades for a total of 144 launchers, so there's no way in hell that Russia could supply them with all that hardware even if Putin wanted to. It will take years to produce them. If we start seeing Iskander missiles moving into Belarus, that means Putin is sending Russian missiles in, and that will be very bad news. Russia's defense ministry was asked to comment on the interview and declined to say anything. Thing is, Russia can already strike the whole of Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics with the Iskanders already on Russian soil, so they don't need to put them into Belarus if they want to blow stuff up. Meanwhile, at the Belarusian-Polish border, last night Belarusian soldiers tried to destroy a Polish border fence, and some of the soldiers were blinding Polish soldiers with stroboscopes and lasers while the others were cutting the fence. Carl Bildt, ex-Prime Minister of Sweden and former Special Envoy to the Balkans for the United Nations, tweeted that if Belarus continues like that, there's a huge chance one side will start shooting in self-defense and then it will escalate. He's totally right. Any normal person using lasers against cops or soldiers would have been shot with no questions asked. Belarus is playing with fire here. Meanwhile, on the Lithuanian border, the country guard service reports that they have recorded a group of about 70 illegal migrants, and they said that they were forcibly transported by truck by the Belarusian army. Belarus can deny all day long, but facts are clear. Migrants are being used as human shields to start a war. Interviewing one migrant on the Polish border, we learned a lot. One migrant said, "My friends in the forest have now told me that the regime has given them knives and other weapons and are forcing us to attack Poland. They say they don't want to do this, that they are immigrants, not rebels. Since the migrants don't want to do what they are told by the Belarusian army, they get beaten up. If this continues, it's only a matter of time before Lukashenko orders his troops to dress up as migrants and start firing on Polish soldiers." According to investigation reporters interviewing migrants, virtually all migrants on their way to the Polish border came on expensive package tour organized by Belarusian travel agencies in the Middle East. So they spend all the money they have to get to Belarus, then their tourist visa expires and the company they made a deal with abandons them and screws them over. The tourist industry in Minsk love the migrants since they book hotels and taxis, make a lot of money driving to the Polish border. For the first time in months they are finally making money after the pandemic crash in tourism. Thing is, all those tourists are being scammed out of their life savings to be used as a political weapon by Lukashenko. In another bit of news that is sure to piss off the warmongering Putin, Ukraine is set to buy another batch of Turkish drones in 2022. This is the same type of drones that destroyed dozens of Russian anti-air systems in Syria, Libya and Armenia. According to the top British general, there is a greater risk of an accidental war breaking out between the West and Russia than at any time since the Cold War. Well, he's not wrong. These were the geopolitical news for this afternoon, Saturday, November 13, 2021. Thank you for your support and subscribe for more up-to-date news.